Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody there? What's happening, everybody? Oh, boy. Do I have water? I do have water. Soft Dingleberry, what's going on, boys? I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. Hey, what's up, Dingle? What's up, Dingleberry McGee? Here, Dingleberry McGee, check this out. Check this out, ice cream party pictures. And ice cream parties are fun. Not sure why my wife went with pink for everything, Dingle, but she did. So this is her attempt at decorations. Well, not attempt, but this is her decorating. All kinds of goodies to put on top. And they had a choice. They could do like a cup like that, or they could do like one of those sugar cone cup things. I didn't know about the sugar cone cups. I went with a regular cup. I was pretty disappointed when I found out they were sugar cone cups. I'm just saying, I would have went with the sugar cone cup. And the boys and girls decorating their ice cream. Yeah, they're pretty pumped. Pretty excited. How's the new microphone? New microphones. I don't know if you noticed. I got a new microphone. Hoping it helps out. Hoping it sounds a little more podcasty. But yeah, the boys and girls had lots of fun. Sounds very good. Sounds very good indeed. Thank you, Mr. Dingle McGee. Boy. Hey, what's up, Inspector Gadget? Yeah, I got new mics last week, I guess, midweek. There's a new kind of the Rode pod mics, they're called. I wanted something a little more directional. The other microphones picked up all of the sound. A little white noise. That just could be some of the settings. Let me see if I can adjust that. Advanced. Noise gate, high pass filter. No, I don't want none of that. I want levels. That's what I want. Let me know when the white noise goes away, or if the white noise goes away there, Dingle. It could also, pardon me, be that I've got the sound up a little too high. So, yes. And I don't know if you, did I show you this, Mr. Dingle McGee? If you can see your screen, have a look. I thought this was hilarious when I saw it. Originally when I got it, I thought, wow, Soggy bought socks for us? Because I saw Soggy Waffles or Mr. Poggy Waffles on there. I thought, wow, that's pretty weird. And then when I read the note, I was laughing my butt off. It's just the noise gate level, and I don't know whether these mics need phantom power or not. Turn it on and see if that. So I put phantom power on. Let me know if that sounds any different. It doesn't say to have phantom power on, so. Gotta turn my sound off my phone before it goes off a bajillion times. Yeah, today's a crazy day, man. We've got sounds the same. Well, crap. We don't need phantom power on. I'm shutting it off. Gosh, dang it. Yeah, we got a lot going on in the building today, man. It's crazy. If you might hear some drilling, some jackhammering, you might hear any number of sounds and noises coming out of this building. I've got I got a group of guys here doing electrical, putting in a new electrical panel for me and running a whole bunch of new plugs downstairs. Oh, my nose is itchy because I got everything's dusty right now too. I've got two massive dumpsters dropped off. One's for garbage and one's for like steel, like metal recyclable stuff. And then I've got a group of guys here installing some cabinets in the new laundry room that we're doing. Where's my phone? Let's see if I got any pictures of that. I'm sure I do. There's some pictures. Yeah, so I got. Is that showing? Yeah, I got guys installing cabinets downstairs. And then I've got, where's the other? I've got new electrical panel going in. That's so we can run a whole bunch of new plugs and various other things. What else? We have demolition starting this week. Let me see if it turns this way. You can see it better. That's some walls being torn out downstairs. The goal with that, we're going to put a combined lunch kind of family. We're calling it a family room instead of a game room. A lunch family room in hopefully in the next couple of weeks once we have some of the demo work and other things done. So it'll be pretty different place. Hopefully, by the time spring comes, we'll have quite an amazing facility here. So we're pretty excited that we're finally able. We've been waiting to do this work for way too long, and so we finally just said, you know what, we're going to do it, and bit the bullet and hired some people, and away we go. So how was everyone's weekend? Sulph and Dingle, you guys all working? Well, that was the other thing I was doing with the garbage and the metal recycling bin. I don't know if I'm all dirty or not, but I was filthy earlier. I'm hauling all kinds of crap out of all these storage rooms we have at the back of the building because we're putting, like I said, we're knocking all the walls and stuff down. You're dying of flu. Ugh. Is that why I haven't seen you streaming at all? I haven't seen you stream in a while. I don't know whether it's just the bad timing on my part with regards to when we're on, or how long have you been dying of flu? Wow, that's nuts. I hope you're feeling better soon, bud. I was literally just saying to someone, hey, what's going on, Emily? So, yeah, 2 still? Good. I was just saying to someone this morning how thankful I was that I haven't gotten sick this year, because everyone's been getting sick. It's not been very good at all. So. Yeah, I'll have to figure out that hissing noise, Dingle, because that's going to bug me when I go back and watch the stream. It's going to be, I'll always hear it. So, Sulph says, job seeking is my everyday work. Really, Sulph? Because Sulph, aren't you like Germany or something like that? Where are you at, man? I forget where you told me one time, and I forget all the thing. Baguette land. France. Is the market that bad? Is it just a specific field that you're looking for that is hard to get into, Sulph, or is it, just a general market? New month, new me. That's funny. Dingle, I owe you a flex, by the way, buddy. There you go. Enjoy every minute of it. Best 3,000 things you ever used right there. It's only because I care that I remember those things, Dingle. Oh man, I did. I got. I've been getting up in the morning to do my 5 a.m. workout now instead of doing it after work. I'm just saying it's not working. I'm having a heck of a time, man. It is so hard waking up at 5 a.m. And it's not even the getting up at 5 a.m. that's hard. It's the 6 p.m. that sucks. Because at 6 o'clock, I am literally crashing on the couch. Like I have no desire to do it. Yeah, 5 a.m. MLA. Because I used to every day. I'd get off of work 3:30, and I'd go right to the gym, and I'd be there till 5:30, and then I'd go home. And by the time you settle down and have dinner and talk to the kids or the wife, whatever the case is, it's like 7, 8 o'clock. Before you actually unplug and just chill. And so I said with one of my good friends, who's my workout partner, I said, hey, would you want to try working out in the morning? He's like, yeah, sure, we can do that. Because the idea there is, you go in at 5 o'clock, you lift until 6, 7:30, and you're at work, and then I leave work at 3:30, and hey, I'm home by 4, and I have the whole evening to myself. Well, to do whatever I want, not necessarily to myself. But what I'm finding is I'm getting home, and by 6 o'clock, I'm like nodding off on the couch. It's like, oh my gosh, like my body hasn't adjusted yet, or I just am not a morning person because it just kills me, literally kills me. But yeah, 5 a.m. is no joke. My job field and my region both are meh in terms of hiring lately. Oh, that's too bad. Hey, Seawood, what's going on? How's it going? It's going good. Going good. I was just telling the folks that we got a whole bunch of crap going on here at Rise Above today with new projects and things like that. And one of the cool things, in case some of you didn't see, and you're wondering why there's a picture of ice cream stuff on the thing, Mr. Dingleberry McGee, Adam, was gracious enough to donate an ice cream party to our students here at Rise Above. So they're all downstairs as we speak, enjoying some amazing ice cream with toppings and all kinds of yummy stuff. People always ask, oh, how do you do that? How do you, it's not hard. These kids love just being with you and enjoying an ice cream party or some pizza or a movie or whatever the case is. It doesn't have to be rocket science to do this stuff with these guys, and they love it. Like when we surprised them with this morning, they were pretty excited. So, but yeah, so we did the ice cream party, and we got cabinets going in our laundry room that we built last week. Well, I guess it's 2 weeks ago now, technically. So that way we can not only wash out the blankets, because we give kids blankets to use in the classrooms and stuff, and obviously our laundry for our kitchen area, the washcloths and towels and stuff, but also some students, if they come in and their shirt gets dirty or they are just dirty, we want to be able to help them out and give them some clothes. And then hopefully our clothes pantry will start soon. And then we're going to have a whole closet, probably bigger than my studio, really. Well, no, I guess about the same size as my studio. It's about a 10 by 20 space. Good friends of mine are going to put in all kinds of fancy like walk-in closet cabinets. It's going to be amazing. So, one other thing, I don't know if anyone saw this when I showed it earlier, but I'll show it again. So this is an Amazon gift receipt, and I don't know if you can read that. It says, Dingle Bells, Mr. Poggy Smells, from Adam. So that was an Amazon gift that Mr. Dingle McGee sent Rise Above. So there is a link that pops up every now and then. Actually, it just popped up. Where you click on that link, you can look at an Amazon wish list for Rise Above. And there are all kinds of things there, from chairs and rugs to T-shirts and socks for these kids. So if you're looking for a different way to engage a channel like we have here on Twitch, besides just subscribing or gifting bits or donations, hey, sweetie, glad you could make it. That's a very tangible way that immediately impacts students. So in this case, Dingle bought some socks for the kids, which is pretty awesome because that's one of the probably heavier use things that our kids are going to need and use on a regular basis. So thank you, Dingle, not only for the amazing ice cream party today. Yeah, no problem, Seaweed. But also for starting the whole thing of Amazon gifting. The kids are going to have a blast with that. So let's see here. So what's our subject today? I'll be honest with you. I really don't have, well, I have one, but I don't have one. I'm going to go back to my notes here. I made some notes on the weekend that I'd like to share. See if I can find it. Close all my ice cream party pictures. Thank you again, Dingle McGee. So here's a question for you, and I'm going to ask everybody to kind of chime in a little bit, because I'm always curious what you think, because I see things, or I hear things, or I read things, and I'm pretty sure I know what my mind thinks on some things, but there's some stuff where I'm like, am I just crazy? Do I really think that? And I'm always curious what other people think. And so the question this week, and it's very relevant to who I am and to the work that we do here at Rise Above, but also from a faith standpoint. I'm a religious person in the sense that I believe in a higher power, so to speak. I believe I'm a Christian, so I believe in Jesus as my Savior. So I asked the question of myself this weekend, not necessarily in the context of faith or religion, but just in the context of what does it mean to have faith? To say I have faith in somebody. If I was to say to you, Dingle, I have faith that you will do X, Y, Z, or I have faith that you can finish high school. I don't know. Obviously, you finished high school, but And guys, if you hear any noise in the background, I apologize. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of construction projects here at Rise Above today. So I asked a question because it's one that I'm honestly wrestling with a little bit. What is faith? What does it mean to say, I have faith in that? I'm curious to see what you guys think. And also, again, new mic. If you hear any strange sounds or anything like that, you're like, hey, that's annoying. Look into that. Say something. But what do you think? How would you define the word faith? Someone says, I have faith in you, or I have faith in the judicial system that it will do the right thing when I'm in court. Or I have faith in my teacher that they will teach me the correct thing. What does it mean to have faith? Because for me, I'll be honest with you, the idea of, so Seaweed also stop having a cold. For me, the idea of faith centers around this, Seaweed, Sweetie, assurance. Assurance of what, though? I defined faith very specifically, and I'm gonna wait a second here, let you guys chime in a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you how I have been rationalizing it, how I've been thinking about it, and because I use the term faith a lot in my day-to-day conversations, in my chats with students, and I want to make sure I'm using it in the right context. Belief in something without evidence that you should believe in. Well, some people can say they have a belief or a faith in monsters or ghosts. Does that necessarily mean I should believe in that? Specifically for me, faith is a belief system or a belief in something that results in action. Who are you going to call? So that's how I'm defining it right now. Faith is something, a belief in something that results in some sort of action on my part. So for example, in the context of Rise Above, we'll just keep it simple. If I say to a student, I have faith that you will complete this math class, or I have faith that you will attend class tomorrow, The idea there is it should result in some form of an action on my part. It might also result in an action on their part, but because I'm the person in this case that's having faith, I'm saying that faith or that belief in something, because what I'm essentially saying is I think it's going to happen. Whatever that thing is that I have faith in, I'm assuming that it's going to take place. I have faith that that thing exists. I have faith that that thing is going to do that thing or not do that thing, right? Which then results in me doing something or not doing something for that matter. Right? Let's put these on. That way I can hear the hiss and whatnot as well. Because there could be some of that too. Check. Check. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, there is a bit of white noise back there, isn't there? I wonder why that is. I'll have to dig into that a little bit. Because the reality is, when you say you have faith, the idea is that you believe in, that you it's going to cause you to do something. It's going to drive you to action, right? There we go. I think I have a way around this white noise thing level. Check. Yeah, we're getting there. That should pretty much kill the white noise. Let me know if you could. Because the reality is, it's one of those I believe, so I will type situations. So, Brenny, thank you very much, buddy. Debbie Death, welcome to the stream. How is Rosa's here too? Oh my gosh, one of my favorite people. How's everyone doing? Thanks for popping in. Thank you for the raid, Mr. Brenny. You are a decent human being. And if you want to participate in any sort of way, hey, we have a guest coming in. Look at this. We got all kinds. You guys are just in time for one of the best part. Hey, Brenny, what's going on, buddy? Let's go to in studio. To Nick. Say hi, Nick. Make sure your mic is on.
Hello.
There he is.
We good? I don't have you here.
We good. Oh, turn you up over here. There we go. You hear me now?
I do.
Stuff. That computer should be working, so if you want to move the mouse and turn it on, you can. Yeah, Mr. Brenny, thank you for the raid with the 7 folks, man. Appreciate you. Hope you had a good stream today. Hope all you folks enjoyed what you saw. Oh, here's the noise for the in the background. Yeah, so we got a bunch of construction going on here at Rise Above today. So we're talking today about faith.
Gotcha.
Like how would you define faith? And not necessarily faith in the context of Jesus Christ. Our Christian belief or whatever the case is, but faith in the sense of I have faith that John Smith is going to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an unknown belief, I think it's similar to the other in that it's something you can't see, but you just believe, and it's in that sense, it's kind of a gut. Like it's do you feel it in your gut? Do you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dingle was saying earlier that belief is something without evidence.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way.
Yeah.
It's a good George Michael song, too. It's Nick, the man with the hats.
That's right. So I'm not going to lie. I put this Eaton shirt on today, and I was like, man, that makes my eyes pop because I have blue eyes. I was like, I got to find a blue hat.
Cover some of that.
I'm not vain or anything.
He's got blue eyes. He's a handsome man. So I was defining faith one step further than that. So I believe what you're saying is true as well. In the sense that faith, in what Dingle was saying, faith is very much. It got quiet when we switched scenes. I wonder if hang on a second. Yeah, I just don't want to pop the white noise in there. I'll look into it, Dingle. Thanks, buddy. Like I said, if anything dramatic changes, let me know. So I went one step further with the faith thing to say, yes, faith is a belief in something that we can't necessarily validate.
Mm-hmm.
We can't touch it, taste it, see it, whatever the case is. But I went a step further to say that faith for me is a belief in something, yes, but a belief in something that calls me to action, that causes me to move or do something. Because saying that I have faith doesn't necessarily, it doesn't mean anything to me until I do something about it. So if I believe that, or I have faith that the person to my right at the stop sign is going to stop when I'm about to go, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that step and I'm going to go through the stop sign.
How does that work if you say, like, right now, do you have faith that everything is running smoothly with us both in here? Because that's not a compulsion to action, right?
Well, but it can be a compulsion to action or a compulsion to not act as well, right?
Okay. Yep.
So and this is what I was just saying to these guys when you popped in. It could also be I'm willing to come and stream right now. Even all of the stuff is going on downstairs.
Yeah, it's chaos. Yeah.
When I know that I'm the one that is in charge of that, I believe that it's going to be okay. I have faith that it's going to be okay. So I'm willing to take an hour to step away and do this stuff.
Yeah, that
in
makes
the
sense.
same vein that I have all the faith in the world that you're a very competent leader and that you're able to control the building. That's why I have no problem going on meetings and otherwise I'd never leave the building. So that for me it's a both and where I say, faith can be a call to action or a call to inaction. Because I have faith in something, it's not going to cause me. I have faith that my needs are going to be met. So I'm not worried about money and all these sorts of things. This idea that I believe, so then I will. Now, how do you think that translates with our students? Because that was the part I was about to get. Let's answer this question first. Would you say that there's a difference between faith and belief?
Yes.
How so?
I think, that's a tough one. I can believe something but not have faith that it will happen, right? And so that's kind of the difference is the inner trust in yourself. That faith is that inner confidence, that inner peace, whereas the belief is kind of out of your control more. That wasn't a great answer, but it makes sense in my head.
That's where I was going to go with it too.
Yeah.
Faith is something that drives me to action, whereas belief is something static. I can believe that the earth is round.
Yeah.
And not flat. But it doesn't necessarily change my day-to-day activity.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have a faith in something, I think faith is more of a call to action or inaction in some way. And I think that's probably, Mr. Brenny, I think that's probably the biggest differentiator for me if I was to try and explain the difference between faith and belief in something. And again, remember, we're not necessarily talking about faith and belief in a higher power or anything like that. Again, in the context of me and my job and the things that I do, I'm definitely talking about, for me, I'm definitely talking about a faith in a higher power. But the reality is, for me, I have faith in certain things, which means I believe as well. It's a both and.
Yeah.
So it's a call to action. So then I will. I believe. So then I do X, Y, Z. And this is where I think come on, you need me, Andy? What's up, buddy?
Where's your ladder at?
Ladder right now is in the room next door to us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I mention there's construction in the building?
Yeah. I didn't know he was here, so that's
that's
another person.
Yeah. Andy's doing some work for us too. So the reality is the students that we have, by and large,
their institutions that they're coming from have lost faith in them.
Correct. And they lack, I think they most of them lack the ability to be faithful to anything, you know, because of their families, because of there's situations with school, like they've never had that sense that if I don't do something, it'll be okay, you know, or they're never, and I think their beliefs, if we're talking beliefs, are exactly the opposite, right? Where I believe this to be true, so I can't have faith in anything.
Well, and some of that, again, faith and belief in something goes along with the idea of trust, right?
Correct.
And a lot of these students come to us with, I mean, they don't trust anybody, or especially the institutions.
Correct.
What's that, Brenny? The way I see it is that you believe in a vision in XYZ, and having faith is creating the XYZ from the ground up. Yes, I would agree. I would agree. Because I believe this, you move to action. Yep.
Don't you think it, in terms of the faith in our students and just, you know, the people and the agencies we work with too, like faith is a capacity thing too, like anything else. Like you only have, you know, like you have to create the space to have the faith. Yeah. Right.
And that gets back to the whole slowing things down for me, you know, from the standpoint of the way I see the school here, you know, the ability to slow it down, the ability to be consistent every day with the students, the way that we, you know, like Dingle doing the ice cream party for us today with the kids, you know, to be able to surprise them for really for no reason. It wasn't that they did anything exceptional. Yeah. Just somebody, you know, from this stream, Dingle. Yeah. Loved on our kids and was like, hey, let's go throw an ice cream party for the kids. I want to bless them with this.
And it was kind of amazing to see. Everybody assumed there had to be a reason. It's not just that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the great thing about, you know, when you guys give to the stream or buy something off of Amazon through the Amazon wish list, or do what Dingle did and say, hey, you know what, throw an ice cream party for the kids, and you know when you're there, just let me know. I'll shoot you the $20-$30, whatever it costs to put it together. I mean, that in itself, I mean, the fact that you guys do that is part of the instilling of trust and faith in institutions again, because now they're seeing that organizations like ours or schools or whatever they see us as aren't out just to hurt and to cause pain, which sadly is very often how they feel.
Yeah. And the other kind of dynamic to this faith discussion is the faith that the schools that we work with have in us, right? That they believe that if their kids are going to come here, it's going to be, you know what I mean? Like they're not checking up every day. They're not whatever, you know, and that's part of like creating these institutions so that the kids can see it, because a lot of times the kids have come from these schools and they've lost that relationship with that school. They've lost faith in the school. The school has lost faith in them, you know, so it's just one more way that we can show them, hey, you know, like you're here because they want you here, and they still, Yeah, and particularly when it's a community person like this. Yeah.
You know, when we have, and the best part is, and I keep showing this because I think it's hilarious. So this came with the Amazon gift that Dingle when he sent the socks. It was a gift, so he put a little note in it. It says, "Dingle bells, Mr. Poggy smells," from Adam, and that in itself. So there's two communities now, right? So it's Dingle giving the socks to this community, which is Rise Above and our staff, right here in our community. But the idea there is, so Mr. Poggy Waffles is another member of our audience here and a good friend of ours. The reality is there's another layer of community, you know, that we're all interacting and getting along and hearing the drills downstairs. Yeah. You know, so here, let's go one step further, because we talked about faith being this thing, possibly for me, the way I see it, as something that results in action. For me, when I have faith in something, so faith to me is a strong emotion. Yeah. It's not just this flippant, casual thing. It's a stronger than normal response that I give. And typically for me, I ask the question, how do I know? And I'm looking over because I made a note for myself, because I don't know if I can move this to make it easier or not. No, I can't. how do I know that I have faith in something? Because for me, it has a lot to do with this like strong inner desire to do something. It's like being really hungry, that you have I just want to grab something out of the cupboard real quick, because when you have a strong faith or belief in something, it really does turn into a doing thing. This hungry, this almost an impatience. I need to do this now. And very often people will get in the way and try and slow you down, saying, well, you're going too fast. That's been my experience anyways. So what's that, Brenny? Faith is a building block which is earned by trust as currency. The more you trust someone or something to achieve the end goal. So here, can I challenge you on that a little bit, Brenny? So you make the assumption that trust is earned, right? And I would push back a little bit to say trust isn't earned. Trust is removed. I believe at some level we all give trust. Right now, there are exceptions to every rule. I'm not saying that's an end-all, be-all situation, but I say I believe the vast majority of time we start with trust, and that's the foundation. And what happens is through words not being kept, promises not being kept, those sorts of things, missed timings, people saying things that are hurtful, mean, or whatever the case is, that we whittle away that trust. And the example I give very often is very much a social thing in our community, how we interact with strangers all the time.
Yep.
And do things out of trust. We're making an assumption that they're going to do something that is socially normal. And it isn't until, like, for example, last year there's a stop sign just down the road, and I watched a guy blow through this stop sign and almost T-bone a pickup truck. So I used to stop at that stop sign and go normally. Yeah. Now, every time I get to that stop sign, because I watched that happen, and I'm looking for that guy to blow through that stop sign, I don't trust it anymore. So I stop and I give a good long look.
Yep.
So I started with trust. It wasn't like, I built that up over time,
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I go with the whole trust thing.
I think even in that sense there, like, I don't know if I'd say earned so much as it's developed, right? Yeah. Because we give trust freely to the students around here, and we tell them that when they start, and again, it is something that if they remove it, it gets removed, but they're not going to give that freely back to us. We have to develop that with them more than earn it.
Yeah, and the reason why we have to earn it, it wasn't like we did anything to not have the trust.
Correct.
If they just saw us for us, they would give us, like anybody else, they would give us that trust.
Yeah.
What's happened is they see us as a teacher
Correct.
Or a school or institution, regardless of the separation.
Next place they go. Yep.
So because the last place blew the trust, they no longer have the trust of the student.
Yeah.
When they walk into here, they just automatically assume that you're the same.
Correct. It's been transferred.
You're that.
Yeah.
You're that group. Hey, Diablo, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for the lurk, man. So, developed as a better work. Yeah, I agree. That very often we walk into a situation where, especially where trust has been blown apart by.
I'm getting summoned.
You're getting summoned?
I did.
All right, go ahead. It's the nature of the beast, man. If you can come back, come back.
Yeah.
The reality is that, I think that our trust very much can be ruined in one incident. And one of the best things I like to do, I play a game with students all the time, in the sense of I say to one of them that, hey, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to pick you up to take you for pizza. Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to go for pizza with you, Mr. Fernandez. And then, so I say, okay, great. I'll pick you up at your house. It'll be 2:00, and just, I'll be there in my Jeep. You'll pick you up. We'll go for it. Maybe we'll take the top and the doors off the Jeep. We'll have a great time. 2:00 rolls around the next day. 2:30 rolls around. 2:45, 3, and I don't show up. The student's like, wait, Mr. Fernandez, I thought you were going to be there, And then, next day, I see him at school and like, hey, Mr. Fernandez, I thought you were going to be there. Oh, sorry, man. I stubbed my toe. It didn't work out. I couldn't drive my Jeep, whatever the case is. Tell you what, though, tomorrow, I owe you a pizza. We got to go for that cruise in the Jeep. It's going to be a great time, Tell you what, tomorrow, 3:00, I'm going to pick you up in the Jeep. We're going to take the top off. We're going to go for pizza, maybe a little ice cream afterwards to make it up because, I kind of ditched you yesterday. I'll pick you up at your house, 3 o'clock. Don't forget. Okay, Mr. Fernandez, I got you. Next day comes around, 3 o'clock rolls around, 3:15, 3:20, 3:30. What's up, Joe? Thanks for popping in, buddy. 4 o'clock rolls around. Mr. Fernandez doesn't show up again. Now the student's a little upset. Not going to lie. Think about yourself. Someone blew you off twice. Hey, I'm going to be there. I see the student next day at school. The student says to me, hey, Mr. Fernandez, what the heck, guy? I thought you said you were going to be there. What happened? That's twice now guy, sorry about that. I got a flat tire. I couldn't make it. I promised next time, guy, I'm going to, well, now, no matter how much trust I had, the reality is now at this point, the student's saying to me, or whoever it is saying, you know what, I'm good. Thanks for the offer of pizza and ice cream and the ride in your Jeep and whatnot, but I think I'm going to pass. I just, I've kind of ruined 2 of my days looking for you and just not going to work. And see, that's where we start with trust, and that's where I'm saying often trust is whittled away. Now, there are exceptions where you have a pre-existing condition, like I just described with a student coming from a school and coming in here. They're very distrustful. And again, I believe that's because they're lumping us. They're making us the same person. Right? So the next person that comes along in the scenario that I just gave with the Jeep and the pizza that says to a student, hey, I'm going to go take you a pizza. And they're going to go, well, I'm not sure the last guy said he was going to do that too. And, it didn't happen. Yeah, and they label you. That's putting a tag is a great way of saying it. And the students here, students in general, they're great at labeling each other. Right? They're great at putting you in groups and saying, you're the cool kid, you're the whatever kid, you're the, the jock. I don't know. We're great at labeling each other, especially when we don't like you. Especially when we don't like you. Can I say one thing, though, to all of you? You have one job every day. In the context of faith and belief and all of that stuff, you have one job. Same job I got. Because I'm not exceptional. It feels exceptional some days. The way you guys talk and the way you're like, oh, that's so cool. I appreciate what you guys do, blah, blah. The reality is it's not exceptional. I'm doing for these guys the same thing I would do for my own kids at home every day. I'm just stepping into a spot other people have stepped out of at the moment. The reality is you all have the same job, and that job is to save the world. You're all superheroes. Even Joe Cool, superhero. If you see that guy play PUBG, you know what I'm talking about. Superhero. The reality is your job every day is to step into the gap for somebody. It's hard. It's inconvenient. There's a reality that you could be standing in line at the grocery store and somebody could be short $5 for their diapers. Are you going to be a superhero? The reality is, you may not think that's changing the world. But you are. You're changing that person's world. Every day, even when they're not happy with you. And that's why Mr. Nick had to leave. There's a student that's not happy right now. And we're kind of giving him the gears. But Nick's out there being a superhero right now. He's doing for that kid the same thing. I guarantee you, he's doing for that kid the same thing that he would do for his own son. And that's a great question, Brendan. There are people that definitely take advantage of you. And that's where discernment comes in, where you got to say, hey, you know what? I kind of know that you drive, that certain car. I don't think you need my $5. And I'll give you an example. This is a true example from my own life experience. I'm from Toronto originally. My wife and I and my family are Canadian. We moved to the States 10 years ago. And I used to work downtown Toronto. So I would take the train in from the suburbs every day. And yay, Team Canada, go, 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 Team Canada. I think I got a Canadian emote in there somewhere too. Where the heck is my mouse? Did I lose my mouse? My mouse isn't working. I think I gotta plug my mouse in. Bam, my mouse won't work. There it is. My mouse died on me. I'll tell my story. I gotta get my Canadian. I gotta support my fellow Canadians here. I thought I had a Canadian emote somewhere. Dang it. Well, that's red and white anyways. Oh, love it. Anyways, so work downtown Toronto, and in the big city of Toronto, there's 10 million people, whatever the case is, and I get off the train. I'm walking to my office, and every day I'd pass the same homeless guy, always be in the same spot, always the same place, and I'd always on the train I'd get a coffee and a donut or something from Tim Hortons in Canada, and one day I thought, you know what? I'm going to pass that guy, and I'm going to get him a coffee and a donut. It actually was a coffee and like a sandwich, like a panini bun type sandwich. And so I'm kind of all proud of myself, walking like a peacock, thinking I'm going to do this great charity thing, and I'm going to give this guy a coffee and a sandwich because it's, I get to this guy. I hand him, I said, like, dude, I don't really carry a lot of cash on me, but you know what? I bought you a coffee and a sandwich today. And the guy literally smacked it out of my hand. He's like, I want your freaking coffee and your sandwich. He literally just wanted money. So, I mean, to your question, how do you know? How do you guard against that stuff? Well, you have to use some discernment. You have to get to a situation where you don't want to create dependence. And so we very rarely do anything for the students. We enable students to do for themselves a lot, right? So, for example, the clothes closet that we're putting in here at Rise Above, we are not just going to, pardon me, say, hey, student, you need XYZ socks, shirt, whatever the case is. The students, when they come in, we volunteer at a place called the Resale Depot here in our community. And the goal would be to take the kids there, let them pick the clothes out for the closet, so they're invested, so they have some skin in the game. And that way, if they ever need to use the clothes closet, they've almost paid it forward. They've put in the time to go to this organization to pick the clothes, to the laundry room the laundry room we just installed. They're going to bring the clothes back here. They're going to wash them. They're going to fold them, do all of that stuff. And that way, when they use it, they've earned it. It's not like it's a hand up, not a hand out, if that makes sense. And that, for me, Brenny, removes a lot of the negative and the stuff where they at that point can't take it for granted because they're invested. Now, back to my analogy, the story example of saying, hey, you're in line, the lady in front of you is buying diapers, and she's $5 short for the diapers. I don't know that would be hard for her to take advantage of you. Now, if she's turning to you and kind of demanding help, that's a different story. But, if you step into that, again, that's your choice. The reality is, whenever you volunteer to do something, whenever you give something away, what I always tell people is this is an open-handed gift, right? And again, I'm a pastor, so scripturally, that it says, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. So that when you give away, there's no animosity, right? In what I tell people in the secular world very often, start with your excess, not your junk. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Start with your excess, and then move towards the things that hurt to give away. to where it starts to become sacrificial. Because I'm telling you, there are studies around this, that there is great happiness that comes from giving, and not just giving well, but giving generously. Right? So I'm missing some stuff here. Yeah, I've tried giving away food and they refuse. And that's common, especially for people that are on the street. But yeah, but you do, Joe, you do find people that are like, oh my gosh, thank you. You know, there was a whole thing, a study in Toronto. I remember this was shortly after the incident that I had, where they actually went and they did an investigative study where they followed a lot of the panhandlers in Toronto, and they found that the vast majority of them weren't actually, they didn't need to be panhandlers. They were very well off. They actually found one that was driving a Mercedes. He would park around the corner and wheel himself in a wheelchair, and he would go from city to city to city and do this. And he was actually very wealthy, owned quite an expensive apartment in Toronto. Matt, hey Matt, what's going on, buddy? Going back to the bit about being a hero, but on a smaller scale, I hear it more often through streaming now. I'm getting used to the fact that by being here and providing something to them, that it's a safe. And this is what I was saying to you yesterday, Mao. I love your stream, bro. I love, if anyone does not follow Mao or subscribe to him, guys, I absolutely encourage you to go check him out. It is one of the safest, most encouraging. He responds to everybody. Very, very much a chill stream. There's no like, oh my gosh, raging at the PUBG or whatever the case is. It's just relaxing, having fun with hanging out with friends type feel, you know. And for me, I love that. My job is stressful enough. I don't want to get stressed out watching some guy play video games, you know. I want to go and I want to enjoy. That's why I love Andy Littleton so much. The guy just loves to play. And that comes through in his stream. And that's the exact same thing with Mao and the guys that he plays with. I mean, Lobster's a bit over the top, I'm not going to lie, but it's still funny as all get up. But yeah, throw Mao a follow if you guys haven't already. I mean, I just think you're a solid streamer, bud. And the fact that you say you've received heartfelt direct messages about your stream is evidence. I mean, your community, and it was evidence yesterday in your stream as well. Your community was like popping off like crazy. It was so good. It was, yeah. That for me, that's when you, as a streamer, I believe you've arrived. When your chat starts to have its own conversations outside of you, the streamer, you know, when your community is engaging themselves and it's very organic all by itself, to me, that's when you know you've arrived. And it's just about building, you know, capacity to do more as an entity, as an entertainer, which is what you are, Mao. I'm not an entertainer. I'm educational by, you know, from the standpoint of what we're doing. Actually, I can go back to this. So for me, that's a big part of, you know, yeah, it is actually louder on this part, eh? I wonder why that is. I wonder what I've got set differently on this side. Anyways, yeah, Joe, I'm the same way. I love children. I think that's why Choco Taco is such a popular guy. Yeah, he got in early on the PUBG wave, but the reality is they're hanging out because chat is chill. He has great mods, right? And I'm not saying that just because I am one, because I'm not there much anymore. But the reality is they don't let crap get out of control. And Mao, that with the gentleman yesterday that was in your chat that was kind of being demanding and kind of, he was obviously a little kid, right? I'm the best mod, yeah, because of these.
More like ripped immersed.
The reality is when you get to, you like that, do you? I got more where that came from. The reality is most people hang out in a stream not because of the streamer, right? They're coming to your stream initially because you drew them there. Initially because you entertained them. You, in some cases, because you talked to them, because you said their name, and it makes people feel special when you say their name, right? But what ends up happening is you become everybody else at some point. And then when people stay long term, it's because they feel like they're part of a community. Diablo, you're here, buddy. I thought you were just lurking, man. Well, glad you're hanging out. Glad you're hanging out for sure. You know, like I said, I think there's a whole doctoral research paper to be written on streams and how the communities work and all that kind of jazz. I just think that there's a depth, #workbros, a depth that can be found. And so when we talk about, this idea of saving people, now I think it's not abstract to say that, you very much are. And I'm with you. I've had a lot of people that tune in regularly, or even people that just have said to me, hey, you know what? I'm so thankful I turned the computer on today when I saw the alert. Because I really got a lot out of your stream. It really meant a lot to me today, And Mao, you don't need to thank me for yesterday, buddy. I don't do that because I want a pat on the back. I do that because I want to support. I know how hard this is. I do it once a week for a couple of hours. I couldn't imagine doing this daily and having to put out the amount of content you guys do on a regular basis, like Joe and all you guys. I have a lot of respect for you guys. This is not for anyone that thinks streaming is easy. Just the tech that's involved with streaming it's a learning curve. It isn't just turning on Twitch and hitting go live. It can be. But for the guys that do it well, like Mao and Joe and Chaco and OG Pickle and all these guys, it's hard. It's time consuming. I couldn't imagine, streaming full time like some guys do. What's up, Frodo? Frodo, yo. I couldn't imagine doing a full-time job and streaming a lot. It's because it's just very, very time consuming. 100% agree. It's all about the community. That's why I don't care. I'm not the best sheep. Amen. Thank you for saying that. I absolutely believe that you can have a stream get partnered purely on the relationships that you generate over being a good PUBG player helps. Not going to lie. Being a good video game player helps because people want to come in just to check out a good video game player. But I'm telling you, they stick around. They subscribe for you, your personality. That's one of the things I say to Pickle all the time. Stop getting so pissed off with your stupid video games. Keep being awesome. Because Pickle's an awesome character. That guy is freaking hilarious. That's why most people tune into his stream, because he's a crazy, funny guy. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to lie. It is fun to watch Pickle rage sometimes. But a lot of that's character, though, right? A lot of that is not necessarily him actually raging. I want to catch up on streaming. Hey, TX, you're here too, buddy. Nice to see you, man. And it does take a lot of studying and research to get good at, You did it for 6 months, average 7 hours a day when you started? Wow. That's crazy, Mel. Hit go live, easy clap. Yeah. Andy's great. A. Littleton he's a solid streamer. There's a guy that if I could see a guy making it one day, it would be Andy. Outside of the group that I've already said, the people that do it full time already. But Andy's a guy that I think would really. He's got a good personality for it. He's kind of like you, Mao, in the sense he's just an even keel guy. What is it about English people from the UK that just seem to have a really low, easy, chill personality? you invested in what you thought you needed, and ended up having 1.5K deep. Yeah, it doesn't take much, man. You know, when you're $100 on a mic, $100 on a decent arm. If you're doing cameras, soundboards, computers. The studio we have here at Rise Above, between the lights and all the other gear that we've got here, we're probably, with the computers and whatnot, probably 10 grand. Yeah, we've got quite the gear. I'm not gonna lie, we can do just about everything that we want to do. I don't know if you've ever done I've done a studio tour before. I've shown you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Doc's rage is, anything about Doc is fake, right? It's all for show. I mean, honestly, building friends and meeting people and caring, it shows a lot. At the end of the day, it's a video game. Stream is the most streamers. Because people, yep. And when it's a genuine thank you that you give, the word thankful is huge to me. Because that's a lot of what I believe brings people back time and time and time again, is when you genuinely, it's hard when you've got, 15,000 people there like Chaco, 7,000 people like some of these guys got. It's hard to keep up. But when you're, between like I am, 10 to 20, and then you get up to the some of you guys, which are 70, 80, 90, 160, it's still manageable to do this stuff. And no, you're not boring at all, Mal. Because again, it's not about the gameplay. That's not the content the folks are there for. So you put streaming in 3 categories: streamer, the gameplay, and the content. And capital, yeah, absolutely capitals on the content. Because content isn't just gameplay. That's part of it, for sure. But I think your content is, I'd say 80% you. It's on you. How you respond to people, your excitement level, having a good dono cam like some people got, you know what I'm saying? Just got to do it. Just got to do it. Oh, man. I'm parched today. Someone's got the heat cranked up in here, and I'm like, oh, new Rise Above shirts. Check them out. And then it's got, I don't know if you can see, right on the back, Hope, Courage. What's Jackson? Yeah. My wife designed these ones. Weird flex, but okay. Hey, never weird flex. Weird flex. That's not even in the vocabulary. Andy is awesome. Yeah, and I think that, I'm not an over-the-top guy at all. I like to have fun. I'm silly sometimes. You're deadpan. I just think that I want to have a serious conversation with the ability to laugh at myself on occasion. Yeah, no problem, Joe. Take it easy, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate every minute you were here, buddy. Yeah, no worries, Joe. I call it chill. You call it no soul. If you get a soundboard, I have to buy the new mic because mine is a USB, not X. Yeah, I've got the Rode Caster Pro. This thing is, guys. There's not a lot of. I mean, I know what's the other one? The Go XLR. Is that the one? I know a lot of people like that, but I think this, again, I'm not an expert on audio, especially audio, and that's again, Andy. I love you, bro. Andy Little has saved my life a bunch of times on audio. But yeah, if you've got the $500, I think it's $600 actually to spend on a Rodecaster Pro, best thing. Yeah, the Go XLR. That's what it was in the Mini. I've got the Mini at home, but I've got this Rodecaster Pro here in the office, in my office studio. Yeah, sometimes you see, in the 20. Absolutely. There's a few people that I watch that are in the 200 range, exactly what you're talking about, Frodo. And it's just the reality is, if all they're focused on is content, they're not engaging their chat, you get lost pretty quick. TX, I missed your first, I know you said something earlier. What's up, Risk? Hope you're doing good. I know when I started, I took like a month to understand the tech. Yeah, before I started streaming and started building the studio, I did it in waves, TX. where I would, I started with just trying to learn OBS and all of that kind of stuff. And then I really got into Twitch and understood all the elements. And I'm telling you, it's confusing. It's really confusing. So, all right, so soundboard wise, what are you guys using? I'm curious now that you guys got talking about Go XLR and all that kind of jazz. Mal, are you still here? Mal, if you're still here, what do you use a soundboard, and which one do you use? Because your stream sounds great. I think even the sounds that you put in and all that kind of jazz, you just do it all through OBS or Streamlabs or Stream Elements or whatever. Huh, that's awesome. It sounds good. For as much as you're on there, it's crazy that you're able to produce that quality of sound. Do you have a quiet space that you're in, I guess? You keep mom quiet when she's in the house? I hope she's okay with me calling her mom all the time. She seems really good humored. I tried using voice mod. Roto-Yo. It buggered up my computer. It caused everything to freeze and a bunch of sound settings got all screwed up and everything else. Mao's audio makes my thighs strain. That's awesome. Brandy, mobile app. How do you do it with a mobile app? Yeah, I think I have your mic. I think this is the mic you got here. Take this thing off of it. Is it the Audio Technica? Is that the one you got? Is that showing up? Because it looks like this anyways. I'm not sure what one this is, but it's a P48 condenser mic. Because yours kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Maybe I'm just... Technica. I've got the Audio Technica. Sound like my mic cut out there. Yeah, I'm not Mao. I think that's the one you got. I think, or one like that, anyways. Focus, camera. Focus. You can do it. Don't be a butthead. Oh, Zoom H1. Yeah. Very popular mic, actually. I know this microphone. It is for interviews. I know it well. Yeah, voice mod. It seems like voice mod gives everyone a ton of issues. Mouse. Mal, your emotes are the best, buddy. Zoom H1. I'm trying to think if no, I didn't have one of those. I thought I did. So anyways, back to, we totally got off track. I blame Mao. Voice Meter Banana can help buff your audio quality, but is complicated to set up. Is it that? Because I know a lot of people that use Voice Meter Banana. Yeah, and I mean I'm abusing a lot of the equipment I got here in the sense that it's not meant for streaming. It's meant for podcasts. But I mean, it works. Does what I want it to do. I might change the cable on this microphone. I think it keeps coming undone. Yeah, I would agree, Rosa. Voice meter sucks. So the first problem, Mao, is you've uninstalled it 4 times, which means you've reinstalled it 4 times. Or reinstalled it 3 times. Just going to say, if you like getting kicked in the face, by all means. But I think after the second time, I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm done. I don't like being kicked in the face anymore. Makes me rage quit so hard. That's too funny. Yours has worked well for you, though, Frodo? You know, I tell you right now, audio is the one thing I have no clue about. If it wasn't for this Rodecaster Pro, I'd still be trying to figure my audio out. This thing is simplified because I went from one of those really technical boards with all the knobs and dials and switches and all that kind of stuff on it. I had to have somebody come in and hook it up because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. When I saw this device come out last year, I was like, ooh, save my pennies and buy this one. And when I got it, I literally plugged 3 things in and I was like, am I done? I think I'm done. I turned it on, turned my computer on, and everything just worked. It was like, what? That simple? Where have you been? Get in my life. It was crazy. I mean, voice mod's been a cancer for a lot of people, I think. Is that what it is, Rosa? It's a resource hog? See, mine screwed up all my audio settings. When I put it in, it completely changed everything. Screwed up all my Discord, screwed up everything. And I guess because I'm already kind of uneducated when it comes to audio stuff, it really, really made me feel stupid. Oh, I didn't know that, Frodo, about audio. See, that's the other thing I've got. So now my next step is to make my stream more interesting. Because now that I have regular viewers and all that kind of jazz, I've got to figure out chatbot, stream elements or whatever the case is, so that when, certain people, I like Mao. You have your setups that when certain people come in the room, it makes a sound or something. I mean, yours is kind of quirky and funny. But I'd like to do something interesting where when someone comes in the room, it does, maybe can it do more than just a chat bot, a sound? Can I make it do an actual visual representation on the screen of something? To me, that would be fun. Like a big yay, so-and-so was here or whatever. I don't know, I'd like it to be more interesting than that, more professional. But yeah. Thanks, Frodo. Appreciate it. Have a great day, buddy. But anyways, back to you guys being superheroes. You don't think it can? Gotcha. Yeah, and I've got a Stream Deck. I mean, I guess I could just use the Stream Deck when I saw somebody pop in it, but it would just be when somebody popped in. Or if I like what Andy does. Andy has like an exclamation point. You put exclamation point risk immersed, and then it plays an audio clip. That he has assigned to that command, something like that. But I feel bad kind of copying from you guys. You think the deck would make it a lot easier? Yeah, and it was fairly inexpensive. You want your sound to be Nature Boy? Yeah, so we never finished the conversation. You copy the frick out of them all. Well, hey, maybe I should just do the same. Steal all the things. So when we talk about being a superhero and saving people, realizing that the job is hard, what's the one thing you notice when you watch a superhero movie? What always happens to the superhero in the movie? There's a common theme in all superhero movies. How tight their clothes are? Yeah, that's a thing. And I mean, if you want to walk around with a cape and tights on, go nuts. They fall. There is a fall from grace very often in some type of struggle. TX, you are exactly right. They get the crap kicked out of them. It's hard to be a superhero. I want that. There's a stream in there somewhere, Mr. Mao. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that would be awkward at all. But the reality is, if you're going to do something that is hard, I think it's worth figuring out what the heck you're saving people from. Superhero Sundays. But you got to do it with the monster truck sound. Superhero Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. You got to do something powerful and very like manly as you put your tights and cape on. But with it being hard and knowing that you're going to get your butt kicked at some point, knowing that you're going to get dragged and, when Hulk grabs the one guy, I'm so bad at movies. I hate this. He grabs the guy and he smashes him on the ground a bunch of times. He goes, puny god. Loki, yes, TX, that's exactly it. Yeah, when he that is the best superhero line, period. That is by far the best. Yeah, it is a great scene. You know, and that's the reality. Somebody sometime is going to be a bigger superhero than you. They're just going to go, "Buh, puny god." You know? But the reality is you get yourself up, you dust off, and you go, okay, let's go. Let's find another one. Because you have to figure out, if you're going to do this work, we all have personalities. We all have likes and dislikes. We all have different abilities. So you have to figure out what you want to save people from. This is my suggestion to you. Like, there's a group of men downstairs right now. They're called Men of Action. They're from a local church here in town. And they're guys, they're older retired guys. They're great guys that have a skill set in craftsmen to do kitchens and all that kind of jazz. And so I called them up and said, hey guys, we're putting a laundry room in. We really would like to have some cabinets put in. Can you guys help us out? Like, yep, that was last Wednesday. They're now here today. Yep, we'll put cabinets in for you. I ordered the cabinets last week. They showed up and they're installing them right now. So what are they saving us from? Our ineptitude when it comes to installing cabinets. Why? Because that's their expertise. That's what they love to do. They love to install things and build things and, and help people. They're being a superhero right now to 15 people. That's a reality. You could be a superhero to your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your coworkers. It is, Dingle. It is awesome of them. There's a reality in there somewhere that this is what I'm saying when I say all of you can be a superhero. And yes, Mao, even you with your tight pants and cape. You just got to find out, A, what you're good at, what you love to do, and then share it with people. For me, the reality is I swore 10, 15 years ago, I forget the exact time frame, but I swore that I would never work with teenagers. That was the one thing I said. I will do anything. But please, dear God, don't make me work with teenagers. Them kids don't listen. And would you know, I've done nothing but work with teenagers. And the reality is, you know why I work with teenagers? Because that's my intellect level. That's my humor level. That's my gift mix. I love to be silly and immature at times. I get video games and all the tech that goes with it. I don't know many adults that when I say, hey, do you know what Twitch is? They go, oh yeah, sure, I watch it all the time. In my circle of friends, I'm it. My wife hates it. She gets it that, we're doing what we're doing here, and it's been good for our students to get to watch this stuff. But the reality is, not many adults that are my age bracket that with as much gray hair as I got that get it. So for me, what am I saving kids from? Very often themselves. Because of my background and the crap that I've gone through in my life, I'm able to say it's going to be okay. You can do this if you want. Wait a second, Brenny. My parents at 46 are like, that's that. FYI, I'm 46 this year. Thanks for making me feel old. And I'm glad you're I'm glad you're catching up to TX, because I'm telling you, I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to pay me 5 cents a hair to pluck them gray hairs out of his head. My kids would be filthy, stinking rich. They start plucking my gray hair out right now. I mean, I wear it well. I'm not going to lie. I make it look good. But the reality is, man, it sucks getting old. Getting old. I'm glad those are Nappy's emotes and not mine. Oh, okay. I feel better now, Brenny. Appreciate that. I'm not quite there. So, you know, when you ask yourself, what are you saving people from, and how are you having faith? I'd say start by having faith in yourself, because when you believe that you can do it, when you feel like you can impact, when you can make change, because that was the issue with Rise Above when we first started this organization. Is everyone said this is impossible. You can't do it. So nobody was trying to do it. They were just saying, well, there we go. We just lose those kids. And then my wife, Veronica, and I come along and we say, hey, we can do it. And they're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't. Nobody will support you. And here we are, 5-6 years later. We have an amazing community here. We have an amazing community around us. It blows people's minds when I tell them that people from the EU or Australia or from wherever tune in and listen to this stream and talk about this crap. People care. Like people want to, and it blows people's mind. It's weird. I don't know what it is. I think that it's one of those things where I think for me, and I've said it on stream before, it closes the gap. It is universal, Brenny, but the fact that we're literally all in the same room. I've said this on a couple of streams now. There's no, you're in UK or you're in Australia or I keep saying Australia, or you're in Germany or you're in France, like Solve or whatever it might be. There's none of that. You're all right here. It turns the universe into a tiny little spot where right now it's on the screen in front of me. And that's why, when you build your community, whether it's on Twitch because of a video game, or not in my case because, we talk about sensitive topics, it just works. But so I encourage you all, only factors are culture differences, but when it's about being a better person and being others, yeah, I would agree. And the reality is, and this is some of the stuff our kids have a hard time getting over here, is the whole cultural differences and whatnot, because it's almost beat into them. It's ingrained. And I'll admit, as a Canadian, that's foreign to me. Canada is very multicultural, especially Toronto, where I'm from. And it's not part of my thought process to think about that stuff too much. But anyways, when it comes to faith, my goal for you guys today, anyways, is to encourage you to do something. If there is something that you truly do believe in that either should be better or that you believe you can make better, it's a call to action. It's a call to do something. For, like I said, Dingle doing the gift to Rise Above of buying some socks for our clothes closet, or whether it's, I didn't show all you guys. So for those that didn't see this today, I'm going to pull up my other screen here. Hold on. There we go. There we go. We had an ice cream party today. Mr. Dingle McGee was kind enough to throw an ice cream party for our kids. Like, how cool is that? Dingle literally is a hero today to our kids. They didn't know it was coming. We kind of surprised them with it this morning. You know, that's a big deal. These kids now go from, oh, I'm just going to have a normal day at school and I'm going to do whatever and blah, blah, blah. Sneaky sneak. Thanks, Brandy. Appreciate you coming back for 2 months, buddy. Welcome back to the gym. Don't skip leg day. But the reality is, when you do this stuff, you're literally being a superhero. It is amazing. It took $28 of ice cream to make all these kids' days. You know what I mean? So we all got together this morning. They all had sundaes and whatnot. You know, we had all kinds of toppings, and my wife decorated. I don't know why she decorated all pink, because we have boys and girls here. But the reality is, the first thing I did is to say, hey, look, just so you know, we didn't do this. Somebody from outside of Rise Above did this for you. His name is Adam. Right? And then they all said, hey, thanks, Adam. Pink was on sale. That's probably exactly what it was, Brandy. But it could be a package of socks. It could be an ice cream party. It could be your subscription. Because Brandy, that $250. So again, I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but bits, subscriptions, donations, all that stuff, that doesn't go to me, right? Well, I guess technically it does, but it's all given to Rise Above. It's a donation you're making. So don't tell them it was donated by Dingle. I totally told them it was donated by Dingle. We were trying to make a banner. It just didn't work out. We were trying to do the whole... Yeah, Dingle, did you tell everybody how close you got to my butt there last week? It's a private story, but I'll share it. I totally butt dialed Dingle McGee. It was great. All I hear is suddenly my butt is talking to me, and I look back. I'm like, what the heck? There's Dingle McGee coming from my back pocket. So I was like, crap. So I shut him off. Then I texted him and said, hey, you just talked to my butt. But it's awesome that, you know, this community here. Yes, Brennan, we actually let them. So right now the students are downstairs in class. Now they may be, and actually let me check right now. I can check to see who's watching. No, none of them are tuned in right now. But they're allowed, if the teacher lets them, and they're got enough classwork done and all that kind of jazz, the teacher will actually let them tune into the stream and watch with us. And I mean, some of you guys have been great. Several have received gifted subs from you guys, and yeah, it's just been fun. You know, they get involved, and then they love the studio. We do interview students. I probably will either next week or the week after be interviewing a student on stream. I have 2 lined up that are very interested in streaming with us. I have a middle schooler and a high schooler that are interested. The middle schooler has been on before. His name is Eddie. He's a phenomenal young man, and you know, as middle schoolers go, he's extremely mature. Sadly, he's been through hell, but it's one of those kids that's just, I love him to death. You know, if I could take him home, I would, but I can't for, you know, all kinds of legal reasons. But the reality is these kids are just normal everyday kids. They just got in trouble. It's weird to say, but it's a reality. But my point is, you guys can be superheroes that way with them. And, you know, when it comes to putting your faith into action by doing things like subscribing or donating or going to the Amazon wish list when it pops up, or even going to our Facebook page and just dropping a like to the Rise Above Facebook page, just to encourage others to do the same, you know. And one thing that Sweetie was here earlier, you know, her in Batman, have been great at trying to introduce us to people because they're relatively close to our community here, you know, and they're doing their best to try and, you know, buy hats and mitts for our students, which is, I think, you know, Brendan, you're saying that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. I think that's amazing when people step in a very practical way, because we live in Michigan. Like, it's, you know, this ain't Florida. You need hats and mitts. So, you know, we do a lot of things like that. One of the things that I used stream money for before was to buy glasses for our students. One of our students needed a new pair of glasses, so that's a thing, you know. So be aware that, you know, when you guys give, there's a bunch of ways that it gives, if that makes sense. But anyways, I think I've taken enough of you guys' time today. Stop looking at me with your glasses, magnifying glasses. I actually have my doctor's appointment today. Today? No, tomorrow. I got to get my eyes checked again. You have a $25 Amazon gift card? I don't know. Just pick something you think the kids can use. Anything that's on there, it's on there because the teachers have said, or a student has said, we need this, Brenny. So whatever you feel compelled to give, buddy, whatever you feel like I said, what are you saving people from? You'll see it and you'll go, that's the thing. So Nerf guns, hey, if it's not on the list and you want to do it, you go nuts. In whatever sizes. We have middle schoolers and high schoolers. If you aim for like a 9th or 10th grader, you're going to be fine for sizes. And I think for clothing, we actually pick the sizes on the list. So, but yeah, I think there's all kinds of school stuff on there as well as, but yeah, whatever. You know, if you want to do something even different than that, Brenny, you can direct message me. I'll give you the address, and you can do something special if you want to do something different than that too, with regards to the $25 Amazon card. So if there's something on the list something that's not on the list that you would like to do, we can figure it out. Be a hero today. Go out and look for a way to do something miraculous. Something where you're going to step out of the box and change somebody's life in that moment. You know, and to answer TX's question, you know, we work with anywhere from 12 to 14 kids at a time. I think in-house right now we have 12 kids. And it's very intentional work where, you know, every day we step out of our comfort zone. This is, like I said, this is not easy work. Sometimes it's knock down, drag out, hard work. But it's worth it every day, because when you start realizing that these are kids that you're working with, yeah, it changes things quick for you. Absolutely. So I think next week I'm going to try and get a student on stream so you guys can ask all kinds of questions. So hang out next week with us. I'm going to I'm going to aim for the middle schooler first, I think. Maybe not. I'll play it by ear. And kind of give you guys the intro to the student thing. And I really want you guys to ask the student questions about why they're here. Not what they did, but why they want to be here. What holds them here, instead of skipping class or whatever the case may be. What they enjoy the most, you know. And they might just say, "Oh, it's because they gave me ice cream." I suspect that's not going to be the case, though. And I'm telling you now, I'm not going to like set the kid up. I'm not going to, you know, say, hey, if you get asked this question, say this. I'm going to let him just speak open and honestly. He might say things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he just said that. And he might go, oh my gosh, he just said that. That's awesome. So, but anyways, I'm going to leave you guys for the day. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. I've got to get back downstairs to all the construction that's going on down there and make sure that everyone's working away, doing their thing. So I appreciate all of you. It's great to see so many different names that we don't see very often in chat today. It was good to see you guys popping off and having all kinds of good conversations without me. But MLA, Brenny, Sulf, Seaweed, Dingle. Let's see who else has been here today. Thanks for the resub, by the way, Brenny. I really appreciate that. Joe Cool, Rosa, TX, Mao. You guys are just awesome. Appreciate all you guys and hanging out with me today and having this conversation about faith and what it means to believe in something and be driven to action and to be a superhero for somebody. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, today's your day to go and be a rock star to somebody who needs you to be an absolute superhero. Thanks, guys. We will see you all later in the week, or maybe even Monday. We'll see. Ciao for now.